Good evening and welcome along to the Bunyodkor Stadium in Tashkent for this, the start of Group I of this year's AFC Champions League. It is fantastic to have your company wherever you are across the world. It's a gorgeous evening here. Temperatures still in the early 30s despite this being a 7 p.m. local kickoff time. It's also very humid here. 15% chance of rain, but just looking at the sky, that seems very optimistic to me in terms of the possibility that we get any rain at all. A very humid and hot evening, so it's going to be thirsty work for both teams. I expect that our referee for today from the Islamic Republic of Iran, Bonya Difad, will be taking regular drinks breaks for both sets of players to keep them in good health. Tonight's match pits United City FC, making their first ever appearance in the AFC Champions League, against Beijing FC, a much more established name at this level, a side that were knocked out in the quarter-finals last season. So we have a peek into the tunnel there. You could see players in all black. That's the United City FC players. Beijing FC will be in all green. Match ball there, ready and waiting. Here at the Bunyodkor Stadium, one of the homes of the Uzbekistan national team. 34,000 capacity. Has hosted international games from March 2013 onwards, when it was the place to be for a 2014 World Cup qualifier between the Uzbeks and Lebanon. Opened back in 2012, this bowl-shaped arena, which is now also known as the Milli Stadium, or the National Stadium. It's home to the five-time Uzbekistan Super League champions, FC Bunyodkor, and has staged many AFC Champions League games. The Tashkent Giants, regulars in this competition between 2012 and 2017, but tonight it's not they who are in action, of course. As part of this new system with the coronavirus era, centralised hubs very much the thing for obvious reasons. Games played with teams and their support staff in bubbles. So we've got these four teams in Uzbekistan, as we do the teams in Group H as well. All of the matches across this pool will be played at Bunyodkor Stadium here, or at Lokomotiv Stadium. Teams in the tunnel then, kick-off not too far away. Beijing FC on the left-hand side, United City FC on the right. Now, based on prestige and history, Beijing would be the strong favourites for this game. Due to a clash with their Chinese Super League fixtures, their first team have stayed at home, and this is very much their second team. And in fact, one of the youngest teams in AFC Champions League history. The squad has an average age of just 21. They really are playing the kids, and there is good reason for doing so. Overlapping schedules mean that if they sent the first team out for this batch of 6 group fixtures, they'd miss 6 Chinese Super League games, 3 during the group stages, and 3 more during the 14-day mandatory quarantine that the squad would have to do when returning home. So instead it is a very youthful team, and so that means that actually, oddly, United City probably start this game the favourites, the Filipino club, based in New Clark City and Kapas, Tarlac. It's not something you often hear about a team playing at this level for the very first time. This is their AFC Champions League group stage debut. Featured the playoff stage in 2018 and 2020, and the preliminary stage in 2019. Now they're on the biggest stage possible. Various obvious reasons. Fans not in tonight. We hope to welcome them back into sports grounds across the world as soon as it's safe and possible to do so. For now, though, kick-off less than 5 minutes away. Referee and officials just getting ready to head out. So Beijing FC in the green with the yellow trimmings on the left of your screen. And on the right-hand side, as we look at things, United City making their AFC Champions League debut in all black with some sprinkles of gold and white. It's the first ever head-to-head, not just between these two teams, but between any teams from the Philippines and China in this competition, as United City look to create even more history. Moment of unity and respect pre-kickoff. Obvious reasons, handshakes very much not in vogue these days. A mutual round of applause used instead to convey the same sentiment. Two captains going through their pre-match duties with a referee to decide who will have kick-off and who will have ends. We'll be doing that shortly after the team photos. But now let's have a look at the lineups. A clean bill of health for United City head coach Jason With to choose from. He has that luxury, although his players lack match fitness. Unlike a lot of teams in this competition, this does not come midway through their domestic season. None of these players have played since last November, and they secured the Philippines Premier League title for the 4th season in a row in a truncated domestic season that was shortened. It was that qualification that got them into this newly expanded AFC Champions League group stage that's had 40 teams in it, 20 across the now completed West Zone and now 20 in this East Zone. Their opponents tonight, a side with no shortage of history and no shortage of impressive performances. One of the big hitters in Chinese football, but the names in terms of the starting 11 less familiar. Hao Sen, the 31-year-old goalkeeper, was set to be part of their squad for this tournament as the one possible senior player, but he's now also unavailable. So it is very much a support cast. There's just 4 players in here that have made appearances in the Chinese Super League for Beijing FC. As mentioned, the overwhelming majority, well, the entirety of their conventional first team squad kept at home. So it's not Slaven Bilic who is taking charge. He, like his first team, is back in China. It's Zoran Jankovic, the Serbian and reserve team head coach. And that's his young charges. But they're no poor team, no doubt about that. One of the most promising youth academies across Asia. And there is Jankovic, who is taking charge of them. To arrive with minimal experience in league football and even less on the continental stage, but it won't be totally alien experience for their young squad, this. They've been in a not dissimilar position before. So kick-off just moments away. Pre-match formalities almost complete. United City, after the best part of a year without kicking a ball, now back and playing, making their AFC Champions League debut. What a moment for them. Now fancy their chances against the second-string Beijing FC side, albeit one containing quite a lot of impressive, promising youngsters. So off and running then, United FC making their AFC Champions League debut against an understrength Beijing FC side due to their first team being left at home to take care of Chinese Super League duties. United City in the all-black, attacking from left to right as we look at things in this first half. Beijing FC shooting from right to left on your screen. Immediately, Zoran Jankovic taking charge. said in the build-up to this one that referenced the fact that a similar collection of players represented Beijing FC in last year's Chinese FA Cup, while the senior team participated in the AFC Champions League bubble in Qatar. Certainly didn't let anyone down. The youthful Beijing team deservedly beat China League One high flyers Chengdu Rongcheng 1-0 in the FA Cup before falling to a 3-0 defeat against top flight side Wuhan. And Coach Jankovic believes they can be competitive here. He said this team has already played last year against senior opponents that had a lot of good games. Last year when the first team was in Qatar, this team played the National Cup games, beat the second division team, and then the second game lost against a very good Super League team. And that was a big moment for these players. Now it's a chance to take the next step for our team. It really would be quite impressive if we were to come through the full stages with a second string side. That's who they're up against in the dugout. Jason With, who is a name that might be familiar to European football fans, particularly that surname. His father, Peter With, him hailing from the Black Country. Once upon a time, Aston Villa's record signing back in 1980 for £500,000. Won a league championship and the European Cup at Villa. His son Peter played for West Bromwich Albion once upon a time and now has become a very distinguished coach. Good early composure on the ball here from United City. Your referee today, Bonyadid Fard from the Islamic Republic of Iran. Indeed, it is an all Islamic Republic of Iran refereeing ticket across his two assistants and his fourth official. Ali Mirzabegi and Saeed Qassemi are the two assistant referees, and the fourth official is Hassan Akrami, keeping a close eye on both head coaches on the touchline. Foul by Ingham, who is just a bit over-eager. Ball overhits her first touch of the game for Anthony Pintus in the United City goal. High pressing here, particularly from the striker, Long Tishuan. Trying to play their way out of trouble. They do so very successfully. Might eye something on the break now. It's passing. Beautifully worked this. Maranon just can't quite get onto it. Well, that's what they'll look to do, United City. Feed that man just trying to slip through there. Bienvenido Maranon, Spanish striker who is a key player in this United City team. His link-up play with Stefan Schrock is particularly important. Wen. Back to Rochenbo. gets it back. A bit of a surprise presence in goal for Beijing FC. Did look like Arsene would be there. He's club #1, and it seemed to travel to Uzbekistan to provide some experience. Twisting and turning. Nice work by Schrock. Schrock gets it back. Really composed start this from United City, keeping the ball well, good crisp passing. They belong in this competition already. Fantastic to have your company wherever you are across the globe. This bonanza of football coming to you from the east of Asia across the next 2 and a bit weeks or so. 5 groups going on concurrently, Group F, G, H, I and J. This is the opening game of Group I. Can't quite dig out the cross there, Ingham. Chang gives it away. Scrappy in midfield. Nicely won back and controlled well there by Nazari. Now Schrock can play it out left. Sean Patrick Kane. In relation to England striker Harry. He's in action in another big football competition going on at the moment in another continent, of Europe of course, with the European Championships, which are into the last 16 stage. And that's what these teams are fighting for in this group stage, at least in that last 16. Of course, 8 of those 16 spots already decided from the West matches, where 20 teams were whittled down to 8 across 5 groups. The 5 group winners and the 3 best second places. Nice run here. Lovely run by Ingham. Nice release, Marinon, who goes down. Didn't look to be a huge amount in that, in truth. Jankovic watching on. Former Bulgarian international, once played alongside Dimitar Berbatov at the European Championships. I'm sure we'll have an eye on what's going on the other side of the world, even with Bulgaria not qualifying for this Euros. Lovely interplay this, and now spread wide. A bit too much on the crossfield ball. So Karu Nigeshi can cut it out. 10 minutes gone. United City dominating possession. They haven't really created a clear-cut chance from it yet, but given that it's their very first game on this big stage of the AFC Champions League, they'll be pretty happy with this. Looked composed and by no means overawed. Yanpu twisting and turning. It's a good tackle, and it needed to be as well. ball clipped forward. And the offside flag's up. That was tighter than it looked initially, in truth. So I thought he was offside by a distance. Beijing obviously not pressing particularly high up the pitch, content to let United City have it in front of them, and in something of a low block. Ingham seems to play down that right with Kane involved as well. Now the switch of play comes. Schrock. Schrock's ball in towards Marinon. Do have a brilliant link up. It's telepathic, those two. It's sliced well wide. Stefan Schrock. Schrock, who's such a key player for this United City team. Gifted, a leader as well. Arguably the finest player for the Philippines of modern times. He's been a key part of their AFC Cup runs in the past. 24-year-old who's recently signed a new 3-year contract as a player coach for United City. One of 11 players to sign contract extensions after that successful truncated season in 2020. They shortened Philippines Football League campaign. Here is Schrock. Just slides one through, too much on it this time, but that's what he can do. He's got really good vision for a pass. United City captain, born and raised in Germany. His Bundesliga experience from his time at 1899 Hoffenheim and Eintracht Frankfurt, amongst others. And joined United City in 2017 after an initial loan spell from Greuther Fürth. Back then they weren't known as United City. They've only changed their name last year. A dramatic situation that all came about because of the coronavirus pandemic, formerly known as Ceres Negros. A domestic double in 2019 and an unbeaten season in the league before the world, of course, changed so much in 2020. It led to the collapse of the club. In association with Ceres Lina, the bus company owned by Leo Ray Jansen, who at the time was the club's owner and chairman, but collapsed due to the pandemic and all the players' contracts were terminated. A dramatic situation. They were renamed last year after a takeover by Marathi Philippine sports marketing firm MFC Sports Asia, and got 16 of their previous 21 players back and re-signed. Moved home from the Panad Stadium in Bacolod to their new home in Tarlac. Not done there yet either with the branding United City, that set to, it looks like, change name again to United Clark after this season. They are temporarily using the new Clark City Stadium as home right now. All over the top, too much for Tishuan, the lone striker, to do much with. Still yet to see a clear-cut chance at either end. Once again, United City keeping the ball really well here. This is what they're about. They play good attacking possession football. They're going to add a lot to this AFC Champions League. One problem they've maybe got is match fitness, so it'll be interesting to see if they tire. Well, of course they will tire in the sense that every team does, but whether the fitness and stamina proves a particular issue for them. Do have the slight luxury of the fact that, owing to the way the world's changed in the last 18 months, teams are allowed 5 substitutes tonight. Whereas once upon a time, of course, that would have only been 3 per team. First really good set-piece chance of this game for either side. Stefan Schrock is very good from a dead ball. What can he produce here? He's got 7 black shirts on the edge of the penalty area to aim for. Schrock in again, and that's overhit and will run harmlessly out. Just coming back to that note of match fitness, it was something that Peter With picked up on in the press conference. He said if we look at a pre-season, it's usually 8 to 10 weeks. We've had 4 weeks for it. So working towards match fitness is really the key for us. The games are thick and fast, so it's a little bit like an international tournament. Saying we've got a reasonable sized squad, but it's just about getting that match fitness. That's been the difficult part. And their preparation has been a bit different to the other teams where their seasons are ongoing at the moment. Some of our boys have not played for a long time, and some of our players have been away on international duty, so it's been a short period of preparation. Difficult to plan long term like you usually would. Had a nerve settling first 20 minutes or so here. Dominated possession against this very young Beijing side. Given away by Ingham though. Maybe a chance on the counter for Beijing. 4-on-4 if they can work this quickly. The playing advantage from the foul. Desi gets it back. Desi fancies a shot. Just straight at the feet of centre-half Darwan. Clever back heel, trying something a bit different. Jackie. Just in the last few minutes, starting to grow into the game somewhat, Beijing, and offer a counter-attacking threat. Beijing FC, one of 4 Chinese teams in this AFC Champions League, joined by CSL champions Jiangsu Suning, runners up Guangzhou Evergrande, and Chinese FA Cup winners Shandong Luneng. First yellow card of the game by Yadid Fad. Goes to Xiyu Cheng for that late challenge. And Stefan Schrock didn't get any of the ball. certainly got a fair old chunk of the man. I don't think he can have any complaints about that, and as he didn't even try and plead his innocence. Aggressive tackle by Ingham, but the ball bounces with Beijing. Just starting to grow in confidence with this young Beijing side. They really are incredibly young. If you take out the goalkeeper Hao Sen, a veteran who is 31 years old, their one club man and longest serving player, who seemed an ideal player to help lead this young side through, but he's not involved today. Got a squad where their oldest player is Yu Jen, who's on the bench. He was born on the 15th of February. Pardon me, he's the youngest player, born on the 15th of February 2003. He's just turned 18. Their oldest player is one who's involved in the starting lineup, all the substitutes bench today due to a slight injury. Gubo, to give you an idea, turns 22 in November. He's oldest player in their squad apart from Hao Sen, so it really is an incredibly young side, effectively an under-21 team. They've reached the midway point of this first half, still goalless. Youngsters eager to prove themselves. United City desperate to start off their AFC Champions League history in the best possible style. Bit of space here down this left flank. 4 options on the pullback. And that's good defending at the near post. United City will have their first corner of this game. They were eyeing so much more here. Great opening down that left flank. Chu Dongdong was in the right place at the right time, but encouraging signs for Jason Wiff's men. And Schrock over the set piece. Headed up, but not away. Still not decisively clear. Eventually managed to handle it away, Beijing. Towards goal by Ingham. Now it's a 3-on-3 if they can work this attack quickly. Desi slides it in behind for Tishuan. Aggressive defence from Nazari, who did well. Good tracking back by Karo Menegishi, who just moments ago was sprinting up that left wing. Zoran Jankovic in the dugout for Beijing. Those casual observers may be expecting to see Slaven Bilic, or he's back in China with the first team. Decision was taken that 6 Chinese Super League games they'd miss due to 14-day mandatory quarantine when they got back to China, as well as, of course, the 2 weeks of Champions League football here. Meant that it's better that their first team stayed at home. Slaven Bilic took charge in January 2021. As you can see, flashing up there, 74% possession for United City. Dominated the ball, and no surprise, also dominated the passing count, almost 3 times as many passes as Beijing FC. Just coming back to Bilic, of course, a name across world football, replaced Bruno Genesio in January of this year. To his last job, which was with West Bromwich Albion in England. Took the Baggies out of the Championship, but was relegated with them struggling in the Premier League. It's his first time working for a Chinese club now. Once upon a time led his native Croatia to European Championships in 2008 and 2012. He's also had spells with Russia with Lokomotiv Moscow, in Turkey with Besiktas, as well as a couple of seasons at West Ham United. Here's Schrock. Deflected cross, was awkward. Guo Chunbo did just enough in goal for Beijing. Crosses like this can be such a pain to defend. It just flicks up off a defender. Corner taken short. Worked cleverly. And a little back heel from Marinon, almost snuck through. Just starting to really build some consistent pressure now, United City. There's Mike Ott working his way down that left touchline. Well, you heard it from the man himself in light blue. No holding or pushing. Whipped in. Worked back out by Kane. Now Schrock. Clever step. Might try the shot. Does try the shot. Oh, what a goal! What a fantastic goal from who else for United City but their leader and inspiration, Stefan Schrock. That is how to score your club's first ever AFC Champions League goal. The whip and the curl and the precision were just gorgeous. Just finds half a yard of space, but even then he had so much to do. Oh, this angle's going to be gorgeous. Look at that. If you're anyone but a Beijing FC fan, you can appreciate that is outstanding technique. And what a moment in the history of United City FC. For Stefan Schrock, who's making a bit of a habit of scoring important goals. It's not the type of player that scores a lot of them, but when he does score them, they tend to be important goals. They tend to be pretty good ones with that bullet of a right foot that he's got. He's done it before quite a few times for Beijing FC on their AFC Cup runs. Now he delivers on the Champions League stage. He's also done it for the Philippines national team too. Scored some really important goals in their run to qualifying for the AFC Asian Cup. And then when they reached that tournament in the United Arab Emirates in 2019, scored the Philippines' first ever goal at that level. He's been a regular in the national team for 10 years now, Schrock. He's more often actually assisting, particularly through his brilliant link-up play with Ganvanedo and Marinon, than scoring himself, but he does. They tend to be worth watching, and that certainly was one of those goals you want to watch again and again and again. So United City have the lead, definitely had the better of the game in terms of possession. They hadn't actually really tested Guo Chunbo in the Beijing FC goal. And suddenly he's got to pick the ball out of his net. Just knocking it around here, trying to draw Beijing FC out. Beijing FC sitting very deep in 5-4-1 formation with Long Ti Xuan, striker, cutting something of a lone figure up front. foul mark passed. Azari. Oh, that's a nice turn from Ott. Ott was trying to have a go there, closed down by Yu Cheng. Wang Hao. Straight into touch. Marinon. Ott. Oh, that's audacious. The back heel back to Marinon. This is going to be quite some goal if it does finish up going in the back of the net. It doesn't. Kane on. Gets it back, Sean Patrick Kane. Well, they're trying to draw Beijing out here. Beijing aren't really playing ball. United City, they're keeping the ball, hoping that Beijing push higher up the pitch, and that leaves gaps in behind that they can exploit to get this second goal. Real game of cat and mouse. It's good tempo, though. They're really doing Philippines football proud. Coach Peter Wiff said in the build-up to this one, we're not just representing ourselves, we're representing club, but also a nation as well. It's a great moment for football in the Philippines, and hopefully we can make everybody back home proud. Certainly are so far here in Uzbekistan. They have the lead. Thanks to Stephen Schrock's goal 5 minutes or so ago.
Turn.
Ott. Really neat touches this. Putting together a few moves here that if they score at the end of one of them, United City, it's going to be time to do one of those videos where you look back and count the number of passes and everybody's getting involved. Here's Anthony Pintus, the keeper. Very deliberately doing this because they want to draw Beijing FC out a bit more. Hoping that I'll get some space for them to play in. Ott. Schrock, the goal scorer. No rush here. Intent to keep the ball and say to Beijing FC, what are you going to do about it? At the moment seems to be not a huge amount. Slipped down the line. Schrock looking for the pullback, cut out by Yu Cheng. Schrock trying to get it onto his preferred right foot, got himself in a bit of a tangle. Committed foul more fitting of something you see on a rugby field in doing so. Stefan Schrock just losing control. And a bit of a shove on Zhu Dongdong. Schrock, who has won back-to-back Golden Ball awards in the Philippines for the best player. That's the man charged with trying to stop him. Serve team coach of Beijing FC, Zoran Jankovic. As for the first team who are at home, well, they haven't had a great start to life in the Chinese Super League this season. Qualified for the Champions League by finishing third in the Super League last season. Was a decent finish. They were runners-up the year before after 3 bad years where they finished 5th, 9th and 4th. When it comes to this new season, they've had a pretty slow start. 2 losses and 2 wins. Putting them on 6 points from 4 games. 10th out of 16 teams.
Justin, everyone can be relaxed on the ball, but not you. Give me your body back.
Right now, it's not meant as a disrespect to Beijing, but just a simple observation. This game is at times looking like a bit of a training match of attack versus defence, because Beijing are being so passive in defence, but they have got the ball back now. Not for long. Shi Yucheng is crowded out. Schrock offering himself on the overlap. He won't quite keep that one in play, to his frustration. And Schrock, recently now a player coach at United City, working very closely with that man there, Peter With. He also has Philippines League winning Filipino native coach Frank Musecan as part of his team. Musecan, who lacks the necessary license to coach to lead a team in a club continental competition, which probably played a significant role in with being appointed as head coach at the end of March. Musecan very much heavily involved though too. Shepherded out for goal kick by Wang Hao. This is the first match day of 6 coming up in this group. Across the next 15 days, everybody plays everyone twice. If you win the group, then you're guaranteed to reach the last 16. 5 group winners from these 5 East groups go through, as well as the 3 best second place teams ranked on their results across the 6 group games. So the 5 best second place teams will all be putting the table with each other. They won't play each other, they'll just be ranked based on how they've done in the group stages, and the best 3 will join that top 5. So to guarantee your spot in the round of 16, you've got to finish top of the group. To do that, of course, a number of these teams are going to have to get some results against the other 2 sides in the group who meet after this game. Kawasaki Frontale and Daegu from Japan and the Korea Republic respectively. This game at 7 p.m. local kickoff time. That match a 9 p.m. one, so will pretty much immediately follow this fixture. And match day 2 is next Tuesday. Daegu facing United City. Peter With will already have one eye on the Daegu game, I'm sure, particularly with managing his players' match fitness. And Beijing FC will play Kawasaki Frontale. Kawasaki without doubt the favourites to win this pool, particularly with Beijing FC only having their 2nd team here. Kawasaki Frontale, the Japanese champions from last season, winners of the J1 League. Based on what we've seen so far, champions of the Philippines, United City making their first ever Champions League appearance, could really be a bit of a surprise package. Of course, ordinarily United City would be outsiders against a team with a pedigree of Beijing, but in the absence of so many regulars, coupled with fellow Filipino side Iolo's victory of a similarly depleted Shanghai Port FC side in Thailand, means that Jason Wiff's side will have come into this game knowing they have every chance of getting a result that normally would be considered a big surprise. Of course, looking to later on in that Kawasaki versus Daegu game, that sees 2 teams who are in great form in their respective domestic leagues. There's the potential to be a bit of a classic. The Japanese side still unbeaten this season. The Korean team haven't lost since early April. Mike Ott gets the unfortunate and unwanted honour of being the first ever United City player to get booked for them in the AFC Champions League for that proper forwards tackle. best challenge, to say the least, on Jiang Wanghao. Just on the note of that Kawasaki versus debut game, Brazilian stars of Cecina and Silva are both probably unavailable for Daegu. This will be interesting to watch Kawasaki's Andrew Damiao, currently the top scorer in the J1 League. He's one of the real stars on show in this group. And Eka Silva, fine players for Kawasaki too in their own right. Kawasaki, who've never been past the quarter-finals. Daegu were eliminated at the group stage in their only appearance, but both teams do have players in their ranks who've won the AFC Champions League before for other clubs. Daegu's recent loan signing, Lee Kung-ho, won the title with Ulsan Hyundai in 2012 and 2020. Kawasaki's Korean goalkeeper Woo Seung-won was the man between the sticks when Cheongnam Ihawa Chunma were crowned champions back in 2010. That's all to come later tonight, so even after we're finished with this game, make sure you tune in for Kawasaki versus Daegu. For now, United City charging forward, looking for a second. And Schrock, a bit more selfish, could have tried to score it himself there. Marinon. Schrock. Half time approaching. United City seem quite content to just pass their way to the half-time break. One thing that will be fascinating to watch, though, in the second half is how much fatigue proves to be an issue for United City. Apart from some of their international stars, the vast majority of this 11 have not played competitive football since last November, more than half a year ago. Our Iranian referee just giving a bit of a talking to, but no card as of yet for this. Three-way coming together. Giant Ingham at the centre of it. This is the goal that separates the teams, and what a goal it was. What a moment for United City FC. First ever AFC Champions League goal, which is enough to celebrate in his own right, never mind the majesty of the strike from Stefan Schrock. 34-year-old player coach, but still quite an asset on the field. He looks likely to, given his intelligence as a footballer and as a mentor to the younger players, someone that could have a promising career in coaching. Eventually does fully hang up his boots, but based on the quality of that strike, if you're a United City fan or a fan of football in the Philippines, you certainly wouldn't want him to be doing that anytime soon. Might eye something on the break here. Yan Pu fouled by Kane. Maybe a chance for Beijing just to get the ball in the box once before the end of this half. Nothing to lose, really. Remember that, of course, Vitel are playing defending champions Ulsan Hyundai at the same time as this match. That game's 0-0 as it approaches half-time. And in from Yan Pu. It's a slightly awkward one. And Pintus was backpedaling for a second. Looked a bit anxious as he palmed it round the post. See, keepers sometimes misjudge their angles. Did just enough. There's T Long in there, hunting something. Corner to come in from Guandesi. To that near post. Got it away. And that will be that. A brilliant first half of AFC Champions League football for United City FC on their debut in this competition. It couldn't have gone much better against a second-string Beijing FC side. It is Stefan Schoch's superb right-footed curling strike in the 28th minute that separates the teams. They've dominated possession as well, United City FC. They'll be very confident if they can manage their fatigue, having not played since November, going on to get a valuable 3 points. At the break here at the Bunyodkor Stadium, is United City in control. The score, United City FC 1, Beijing FC 0.
跪人了，东哥，东哥，
前点，别走，走走走，往外线，往外线，注意点，备步，行。前点，别走，走走走，往外线，往外线，注意点，备步，前点，别走，走走走，往外线，往外线，注意点，备步，行。
Welcome back to the Bunyodkor Stadium in Tashkent for this, the second half of the first match of Group I in this AFC Champions League for 2021. At the break, United City FC in the black with the gold and white trimmings, 1-0 up against a very young Beijing FC side in green and yellow. United City on their first ever appearance in this competition. Their debut match had the lead at the break thanks to a beautiful strike from that man there, Stefan Schrock. Right-footed curler into the far corner. Two changes at the break for Beijing FC. Sia Longfei and Li Voxi are both coming on for them. So double substitution to try and inject some energy into this side. One of the highest profile names in East Asian football as a club, but they're cast for this particular tournament a bit less familiar because their first team is still at home. So welcome back to Tashkent for the second half. United City FC 45 minutes plus stoppages away from debut win in their first ever appearance in the AFC Champions League. Got the lead thanks to that goal midway through the first half from Stefan Schrock. Iranian referee has a very good job tonight, letting play go on wherever possible. One yellow card for both teams so far. Of course, referees such an important part of the game, and it is often a bit of a thankless job. This is the first game in match day 1 of this group. Later tonight, it's Kawasaki Frontale against Daegu. Two teams in really good form. The Japanese Giants, who are unbeaten this season, and the Japanese League champions this time around. Unbeaten this time around, I should say, up against one team we've not lost since early April. So that should be one to keep an eye on. Of course, plenty of football going on across the world right now, with Italy versus Austria and Wales against Denmark in the European Championships too. And the CAF Champions League is also in action. Mali against Tunis and Kaiser Chiefs against Wydad Casablanca. So plenty to enjoy about the beautiful game from all across the globe right now. Of course, the defending AFC Champions League champions, Busan Hyundai, in action at the same time as this game. They're currently goalless and struggling a bit against Vital. Early on today, Jipatham United FC won 4-1 against Kaya in a comprehensive win. 2 goals for Faisal Dangda. Brace for Diego as well. Not the worst cross. Can they test Pintus for the first time in this match? Tishuang dispossessed though by Schrock. interesting change of dynamic. It seems like at half-time Beijing FC have abandoned the back five that they played with in the first half and have gone to something more of back four. Switch from a 5-4-1 to a 4-2-3-1. Just to try and be a bit more offensively minded, maybe. Well, eventually given us offside, Long Chi-Xuan. Flag took a bit of a time to come up from Said Gassemi. Serve team coach Zoran Jankovic in charge with Slaven Bilic and the Beijing FC first team at home. So of course seeing recognised AFC Champions League stars we're used to seeing over the years, like Renato Augusto and Cedric Akambu. Bit of space here for Funagishi. Nearly made it 2-0. It's been bright down this left flank. Managed to get some room and force Chunbo into action. Aggressive tackle from Dong Dong. Tenacious battle in midfield, and as has so often been the case tonight, it's United City who come out with the ball. Just been a bit better in that area of the game, a bit more tidy in possession. Got to remember that this is incredibly young Beijing FC side. The keeper, Chunbo, is their oldest player in the starting 11 or on the bench tonight. And just to give you some context, he turns 24 in August, 23 right now. So it's effectively, in terms of outfield players and the rest of the squad, it's pretty much an under-21 team for Beijing FC. Not without good reason, overlapping schedules. And if the first team were to play in this group stage, they'd miss 6 Chinese Super League games. 3 during the group stages themselves, and then 3 more during the 14-day mandatory quarantine they'd have to do when they got home to China. Speculative shot flies over, but given as a corner. Not seen much of Benito Maranon tonight, the Spanish striker for United City. He's normally such a key man for them. He's been a bit quiet. Been a lot of eyes in the build-up to this about whether Maranon can bring his goal-scoring abilities to the most prestigious club competition in Asian football. This man shot here certainly has. Stefan Schrock, magnificent goal. He does pop up with the odd one from midfield for club and country, and they tend to be important goals. Right now it's a winning goal. Floated in. Trying to work a bit of space down on. It's won another corner off Shi Yu Cheng. Another set-piece chance. Now they tended to prefer to go short with their corners, United City. Mycott is set for another routine. Instead they go into the box. Convincingly cleared. Fired back into the bodies by Nazari. Down just trying to scramble it away. Here's Nazari. Looking for this second goal, United City. Don't be deceived by the fact that you can't see the sun anymore. It's still very hot and humid out there. The temperatures still in the early 30s. Humidity pretty high too, as the floodlights take over from the natural light. Tashkent, Uzbekistan is match day 1 of 6. CHN looks wide. Too long. Forward, too much on that though. Just not looked quite as impressive as United City in either box, really. Beijing FC. It's a young team who have very little experience. In fact, only 4 of their entire squad for this AFC Champions League group stage have played in the Chinese Super League for them before. Quite a lot of them played for them in the FA Cup, though. It's for United City doing themselves proud here so far on their Champions League debut. Plenty to think about for Zoran Jankovic is to marshal this young group through a very hectic fixture list for Beijing FC. 6 games in 15 days. The bit of chest work from Marinon. Now Ott. As the running behind finds Minagishi. Wastes the chance. Thumps his on the ground in frustration. She loses out. Schrock. Held back by Messi, who's appealing. I must say, I can't really understand why. Quite blatantly grabbed the shirt of Schrock. This was the chance up the other end. Very brave and sensible defending from Xu Dongdong. Just got his body and himself in the way of the line of shot that Mikhail Minagishi was lining up. Ott. More patient passing from United City. Looked really composed on the ball tonight. Really impressed by what I've seen. The question mark is the lack of match fitness, which head coach Peter Whiff was very open about being a problem pre-match. I mean that they tire as the game goes on. That nerve settling second goal, can possibly get it. Not wide by Nazari. Be up past. It's 20 past in this move, I'd say. Here's Schrock going more direct now. Clips it up. Surely a second off the line, and still pinballing around in there. Chumbo forced into point-blank save to keep it at 1-0. Again, it was Schrock who was key. After a long, drawn-out passing move, it was he who went down the left and got that cross in. I'm sure when we get to break in play, we'll have another look at that chance. Just moving around in the box for a few seconds or so.
Touch. Right ball. Hey, left side, right.
T-lock, good crossfield ball. So that tells you that just one shot so far in this game for GFC, and that's held wide of Anthony Pintus's goal. He's had a quiet night. United City will want to keep it that way. Icon. Just losing out. It's good tenacious defending by Wen. Schrock crossfield. Great vision. It's not quite kept in play. Shout of frustration from Jai Ingham. This is that cross. It was missed by Maikot and sent goalwards by Bienvenido Marinon. There's a really awkward deflection. Chumbo did well. Ingham was there as well, but Beijing managed to get it clear. Making use of himself there, Tishuan. Keep it alive. He seems to have injured himself in the process as well, the lone striker, who's had a tough task tonight. He's been feeding off scraps, in truth. It's turning into being another proud day in the history of United City FC. Philippines Football League titles, one United Football League title, 2 PPF National Men's Club Championships, 1 UFL FA League Cup, 1 Copa Paulino Alcantara title. Though, of course, not going to win any silverware for victory tonight, but be a genuine mark in history for them in their first ever AFC Champions League match. Just looking at the other side of the draw, obviously winning your group gets you through automatically, but then 3 of the 5 best second places from this east side of things will make it through too. And you probably to near enough guarantee being in that group of 3 of the 5 best second places. 12 points would definitely do it. 10 is likely to be enough as well. That's one mark to aim for. Marinon, referee not interested. That is a good call for my 2 cents from our Iranian referee. Clean tackle in the same way that this one further up the field was not. This is the penalty shout. Oh, well, this angle might give us a better idea.
Come on.
Oh, maybe not. Chi, bit fortunate, replay appears to suggest. Changes are coming for Beijing FC. Long Tishuan coming off injured. Surprising given he looked at some real discomfort. It's a like-for-like striker-for-striker change. Now Yu Jun comes on. Jai Ingham's first ever AFC Champions League appearance is over. Dizon comes on. So United City FC, I should say, have made one of their 5 available changes, while Beijing FC have made 3 of their 5 that they can make. Just not quite able to keep that one playing Dizon with his first touch after coming on. Elsewhere, defending champions Ulsan Hyundai still goalless with Vitel, 3/4 of the way through that game, so frustrating start to their Champions League title defence so far. Ulsan Hyundai, Korean side, winning it last year in the final against Iranian side Persepolis. It's the way the format works. The final will always pick a team from the East against the West. 2 groups of 20 teams, 4 groups, 5 in both the East and the West side. And then end up with 8 teams from the East, 8 from the West. They go through their own regional knockouts until you're left with an East versus West final. I make this to be the first set-piece chance for Beijing FC in the entire match, where they've got a chance to really get a good set-piece ball into the box. Nabichung Mohamedi over it to whip it in left-footed, in swinging. He's got 7 green and yellow shirts to aim for. The worst ball in, the keeper came and didn't get there. Nervous moments for Pintus. It's clever work to escape away from 2 defenders by Kurtism, but just ran out of room. Up next for United City to face Korean Republic side Daegu FC on Tuesday in the earlier of the 2 matches. And then Beijing FC will face Kawasaki Montale, Chinese team. Daegu and Kawasaki playing each other immediately, pretty much after this PHI finishes. 2 players down. PHI is in some discomfort. Baumann has the ball at his feet for now and says, I'll put it out. Come back for players to get treatment. It looks like the number 66 for Beijing FC. Chi came off worse of the 2. Another player got the ball. It was the United City substitute, Dizon, who was in there too. Seemed to come out of it just fine. Iranian referee is coordinating the restart. There's a bit of miscommunication, misunderstanding over the fact that it needed to be thrown back in by Xu Dongdong. Ball is given back to United City, who've enjoyed so much of it in this match. 73% possession in this first half. It changed much after the break. 71% possession in the second. Only had 3 shots on target. That might be the one frustration for Jason With. Having his second goal as well, so this game is a long way from done as we head into the last quarter. More nice, intricate passing from them, but given away by Dizzen. He was fouled though. United City will be presenting Philippines after winning the 2020 Philippines Football League. It's the 4th straight season in which they'd done that. Shortened season, only 5 games, and they won 4 of them, scoring 25 and conceding 3. Here's a Schrock. He scored 1. Trying to make something happen again. Good ball in from Schrock towards Marinon. Fell on the volley, total miss kick from Inagishi. Now Nazari, just wide. And it got a flick on the way through, so they'll get a corner. Threatening stuff from Obin Nazari. So with not happy with something. It's not how his team are playing though. He can find Vettel. I think it's because it wasn't eventually, after some consultation, given as a corner. Initially, Free did seem to have changed his mind, but he's changed it back, so United City will have the set piece. They go short, as they like to do from set pieces. Minagishi hits one, tipped over the post by Bo Chun-bo. A bit too close to the keeper, but plenty of power behind it from Minagishi. Just absolutely put his laces through it. That technique. Also gets the ball to dip so late. Can be really threatening and a nightmare for goalkeepers. Over the corner. This time they do put it into the box. Watt headed it down. Still in there. Inigishi. Watt. Nazari. It's a bit of a hospital pass. Nothing that Schrock can do about it. Might be a rare chance going forward for Beijing. Dazzling run this. Step overs to match and still going. Took a very much unlawful bundling off the ball to get Maibichan Mohamedi off it. Really nice run by Mohamedi, real purpose to it. Needed that from Darwan. End buccaneering forward. They've got this set piece.
5. Nope. 5. 6. Yeah. 5 more.
After all, we've focused on United City dominating the ball, dominating this game. He takes one mistake. We're back level. You can tell that from the intensity in Anthony Pinter's goalkeeper, all in white, as he sets up his 5-man wall. It's looking like it will be Liang Shou-wen to hit it on his left foot. Does he look to go over or under the wall? Goes over and goes into the top corner. Oh, what a goal! Superb from the Liang Shou-wen. Their first shot on target in the game in the 73rd minute. And it's an outstanding equaliser for Beijing FC. Nothing Anthony Pintus could do. That is astonishing from the Liang Shou-wen. Firmly against the run of play. Over the wall. Right into that postage stamp of a top corner. What brilliance from the Beijing FC youngster. And what a moment for Liang Shou-wen. He's 18 years old. He turns 19. So beg your pardon, he just turned 19. On the 12th of January, a couple of weeks ago. Teenager nonetheless. Now this is going to be interesting to see how they respond, United City. They've been in total control of this game. CHN, the 19-year-old, coming out the goal of the very highest quality. It's match one from Schrock, which was also brilliant. We've had two pearlers in this match. As we enter the last 15 minutes of normal time, this game has a suddenly very different complexion on it. Dizzen comes inside, can't quite find Maikot, who is making a run. They're unbeaten in their last 6 AFC Champions League group games. Beijing winning 5 of them, and is their best ever run. And point to continue that unbeaten run. They've been behind for most of this game. I think they'd be pretty happy with. Still plenty of time for either side to go and win this game, though. Guandiji comes off, so Beijing FC making their 4th change of the evening. Number 40, CHN comes on. Affecting these players, and it's not really very surprising. A lot of these Beijing FC players have been playing reserve team and academy matches for them, because of course their first team are still in China. So you'd expect that going from that to the intensity of 30-degree heat, the humidity, and the pace and tempo and ferocity of an AFC Champions League fixture would lead to some problems. So they've only got 10 on the pitch here right now, Beijing FC. By Dizzen. Awkward bouncing ball. Marinon was trying to get underneath it for something spectacular. Hits the hand of Minagishi to relieve the pressure. Just flicked up the arm of Minagishi. He's got a yellow card here, Ochenbo, for time wasting. Never need this one really, and gets more of those as this 6-match group stage goes on, I should say. A 1-game suspension comes into view, so don't want to pick up unnecessary cards like that. Shi Yucheng back on the pitch to treatment, so Beijing FC have their full complement of 11 on the field once more. Back with Pintus, who has not had a lot to do tonight, in truth. Only one shot on target from Beijing FC. To paraphrase a Beatles song once upon a time, sometimes one is all you need. Well, what's happened here? Schrock has got involved with Ma Yu-jun. So the initial foul is from Yu-jun, and then Yu-jun takes another kick at Schrock there. Well, the way that Yu-jun goes down is more than a bit ridiculous. Well, the Iranian referee making it clear he wants no more. I think Ma Yu-jun is a touch fortunate there in particular. Schrock barely touched him. Meanwhile, had a good couple of kicks at Stefan Schrock. Nice ball down the line for Minagishi, who's been a nuisance all night. Here he goes once more, Minagishi. Just stopped by Xu Donggong. So we head into the last 10 minutes of normal time. There's a second change of the 5 available for United City. Mike Ott running off. Good to not waste any time. Number 20, Mark Hartman, comes on. 5th and final change as well for men from China. I should say really the youngsters who might be able to nick this on the break. It's a 5-on-3 if they can work this quickly. United City have been caught right out. Great ball in. And it goes through everybody. What a chance that was. United City completely exposed on the counter-attack. A huge opportunity this. It's whipped in by Li Bo-chi. Had 4 options to aim for. Didn't end up finding any of them successfully. It's now a yellow card for the Beijing FC reserve team coach. He's taking charge of the team here in the absence of Slaven Bilic. Zoran Jankovic being beaten out of his technical area in the ear of 4th official Hassan Akrami. Getting open and a bit frantic in all ways, the one on and off the field. There's a decent cross. Fall for Minagishi. Needs options. Can't quite find one. Just to confirm in that counts, 5th and final substitution for Beijing FC made. Xu Yuzheng withdrawn, was on a yellow card and also limping a bit, so makes sense on a couple of levels. And Joe coming on. So Jankovic's card is just confirmed there. Meanwhile, it's a straight swap. Mark Hartman for Michael. Inside forward, stroke winger, on for inside forward, stroke winger. That was also on the booking, so probably made sense in more ways than one. As well as fresh attacking legs, no risk of a second yellow. Schrock in, only half away. No doubt Beijing FC, based on the balance of this match, will be much the happier side. The scoreline finished this way. Got to come back for attack of cramp here. Rochenbo, the goalkeeper, playing physio. Put the ball in. He's just there when heading to ground. The goal scorer, man, just 19 a fortnight ago, Liang Xiaowen, who's down. He's called for a stretcher and looks like his game might be over here. Well, that's the moment he's going to remember for years to come. I'm sure he wouldn't have dreamt that after scoring such a beautiful goal like that, ended up leaving the game on a stretcher. He is okay enough to be able to get up and limp off, which I guess is good to see. Certainly hope that he's okay and able to come back. He's put in a composed performance at centre-back for Beijing. And he scored that standing goal too. Might well have secured them a precious point. Negishi down the line for Schrock. Tries to nick it away, but the covering defence is good. City looking for a win in their first ever AFC Champions League match. Pressed before with a strong AFC Cup record, looking to do it on the biggest continental stage. It isn't. Still going. Tricky footwork. He might have won a corner here. Certainly has. That is nice stuff from Kurt Dizin, who was stuck in a Beijing FC sandwich and to get himself out of it with set piece to show for it. Stefan Schrock comes across to take the set piece as per usual for United City. Player coach. Well known particularly for his link-up play with Bienvenido Marinon. Schrock the provider and Marinon the finisher. Oh, they love a bit of that right now. Schrock tees it up, down and wide. It wasn't a free header, but was an opportunity for Adam Nazari. Really make clean contact. See pop up. See that's presented by Lyon. 40 clubs represented in this AFC Champions League. In the expanded competition more than ever before. 20 from the West, which has been whittled down to 8. 20 now fighting it out in the East to make it to the final 8 from the East, the round of 16 overall. And of course we have our quarter-finals, semi-finals, and our final, which the only thing we do know, of course, is that it will be East versus West clash, such is the format where two sides have stay regionalised until the very end. We know 4 of the 8 round of 16 ties because the West games have been completed. Since ball in. Is he held up? Schrock. Fancy a shot here. Did fancy a shot. Good deflections for Beijing FC. Get the relief of foul that takes the pressure away. There's 4 round of 16 clashes already established. Tractor FC from Iran up against Nasser from Saudi Arabia. Al-Wada against Sharjah in an all-UAE clash. Teams in the United Arab Emirates. Persepolis from Iran will play Istiqlal. Istiqlal FC will face Al-Hilal in Iran versus Saudi Arabia clash. Of course, and the other 4 of those round of 16 games in just about 2 weeks or so. So this feast of football, 60 group matches, which across the next 2.5 weeks. We'll be very much into it. Pretty much every team has played so far now. After this fixture, the only 2 teams yet to have got the AFC Champions League campaign underway will be the other two teams in this group who play next: Kawasaki Frontale against Daegu FC. Schrock's corner, keeper's come a long way and has got there, turned back in though, and wide. Well, he did well to get a good punch on it, Guo Chunbo, having come so far out into a crowd of bodies. But sending it to the edge of the box can be pretty dangerous at the best of times. Fortunately for him, the shot flew over the bar. Poor touch from Inagishi. It wasn't the easiest throw to control. And right now, the young Imperial Guards, Beijing FC, nicknamed the Imperial Guards, stood firm and done themselves proud. But that none of the outfield players in this Beijing FC squad are older than 21. Keeper Chunbo is the oldest at 23. Shrug. Nice footwork. Beijing FC seem to be in the wars of it. Seems like a player's going down for cramp every minute or so at the moment. Oh, what a shot! Just off the bar. Almost in. What a goal that would have been. His body's sprawled all over the floor. It's fair to say United City are somewhat cynical about the huge run we've seen of Beijing players going down in the last 10 minutes or so. And they're also frustrated because they nearly had the winner. What a strike from the substitute, Mark Hartman. Absolutely lashed that off the bar. Underside of the bar as well. Those can sometimes bounce in. Well, those numbers do tell a certain story. 17 shots for United City, just 3 for Beijing FC. The only one on target was the goal. Initial cross from Schrock was cleared away. And then those two defenders for Beijing FC both going down. We played on, now had an opportunity to get treatment, so might be a bit of overtime within overtime here. We've had a minimum of 4 minutes added on, but first minute or so, that's just been eaten up by more treatment time. Much to the frustration of Jason With and all of the United City disposition. Coming up next is Kawasaki against Daegu. Japanese side still unbeaten this season. Favourites to win Group I. Japanese domestic champions last season as well. Meanwhile, Daegu, the Korean team, not lost since early April, so two sides in really good form. Interesting to see how they go. The last teams to go underway in this East region. Tomorrow we're pretty much on to match day 2 in groups J and H. The ball across and headed over. What a chance in stoppage time. And of all the people you want it to fall to, if you're a United City fan, it would be Bienvenido Maranon. More clever work from Schrock, who's been at the centre of pretty much everything United City have done that's been good. Comes to nothing. Coming back to tomorrow's fixtures. It's match day 2 in Group J. And then on Monday we've got match day 2 in Group H and match day 3 in Group G. So 2 games tomorrow and then 4 on Monday. Games keep coming thick and fast as Marinon loses out. Just trying to see this home now, Beijing FC. Stefan Schrock had given United City the lead in the 28th minute. For a long time they dominated possession and never quite managed that second goal. They didn't really actually manage to create too many more clear-cut chances. Played the penalty when Wang Shouwen scored that magnificent free kick. Is there a late twist? Clock says time's pretty much up. I wonder if we've got maybe another 60 to 90 seconds owing to the injury delays that we've had in stoppage time. It is a need to get more bodies into the box, United City. Hart clips one up for Marinon. Helps it back. Minagishi hits one well over. And that might be that. Skies it. Raku Minagishi, who's been bright down the left wing, but has struggled a bit with his finishing and providing in key moments. And what an effort from the Beijing FC youngsters. A second string side, the first team back in China. No outfield player older than 21, and yet they've come away with a point. Real frustration for United City FC. The Kings of the Philippines can take a lot of credit from their first ever AFC Champions League match. They'll feel like it's 2 points dropped. United City led in the 28th minute through a magnificent right-footed curling shot by their captain and leader, Stefan Schrock. And for a long time in the game, it looks like that was going to be the difference until in the 73rd minute, the recently turned 19-year-old centre-half, Liang Shouwen, curled in an outstanding left-footed free kick right into the top corner, which means that the points are shared at the Bunyodkor Stadium in Uzbekistan. Thank you very much for your company wherever you've been across the world, and do watch out for Karasaki Frontale against Daegu FC, which is commencing shortly, the other match in this Pool I. But for now, here in Tashkent, it's finished. United